stamping and crafting friends. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a super simple Christmas card that can be remade with all kinds of different designer series papers. This is also one of my current Stamp Club projects. It's one of a set of 3. I'm going to be using the Holly Jolly Wishes stamp set for the sentiment on this card, and I'm using the Sweet Stockings designer series paper. If you receive a kit in the mail to make this card, you'll see that there are 2 white pieces in the kit. The larger of the 2 pieces is the piece for the outside. The smaller one goes on the inside. My outside white piece is sized so that I'll have just the tiniest little bit of the evening evergreen card body showing, as you can see here. For the front of my card, I'm using 3 pieces of designer series paper. The middle piece measures 2 by 4 1/4 inches, and the 2 smaller pieces measure 1 1/2 inches by 4 1/4 inches. You can use a variety of the designer papers in this pack to create a really sweet little arrangement, and this can be a great layout for using all kinds of scraps of designer series paper as well. So I've just arranged my 3 designer series paper pieces where I want them to be, and I'll be attaching those pieces off camera to the front of the card. So now I'm going to go ahead and start with my sentiment piece, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Evening Evergreen ink with one of those images from the Holly Jolly Wishes set. And I'm stamping it onto a piece of vellum cardstock. And as you can see, the ink is shiny and wet, and the ink will stay wet on the surface of the vellum for quite some time. Now I'm going to be putting a white strip of cardstock in behind the center of the sentiment to highlight those words in the middle. And I decided to do that before my vellum was dry, before the ink on the vellum was dry, which is not ideal. Now I was lucky, I didn't smear my ink, but this is really the best time to heat emboss and not be messing with it like I am. So do as I say, not as I'm doing here. So for my white piece, I started by putting dimensionals on one side, and then I used some of my regular adhesive to put it all over the second side. Then I carefully picked up my vellum cardstock, making sure not to touch the ink, and I laid it right over the top of the strip of white cardstock so that I was highlighting the Holly Jolly in the center of my stamped sentiment. So it's probably been about 10 minutes since I stamped my sentiment, and it's still wet. So I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss it with my clear embossing powder. So I'm just going to tuck it under there, let it fall over the whole surface, and then I'm just going to go ahead and heat emboss my image, melting the clear powder that's on the sentiment. And once it's heat embossed, the image is shiny and raised and quite a bit more bold than the original card, which you see on the left. So you can choose whether to heat emboss or not, depending on what you like. As a reminder, this is one of 3 of the current Stampers Club projects. If you'd like to receive free classes to go in the mail, plus free Stampin' Up! Products, you may want to join my online Stampers Club. To learn more, click on the little I in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, or click on the link in the video description below. I hope you enjoyed my project today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and happy crafting!